to the United Church of Santa Fe Cora Luke's FebFest Concert. We're so glad that you've joined us. My name is Talitha Arnold. I'm the senior minister here at the United Church of Santa Fe, which is a place that loves to sing and loves music of all kinds. So I'm, on behalf of the whole congregation, I welcome you. To begin with, just some housekeeping kinds of things. If you brought a cell phone into this sacred space, please take it out and turn it off completely. The music that you're going to hear tonight, this afternoon, is far more important than whatever kind of ringtone you're going to have. So please make sure that, for the sake of everybody, that your cell phones are completely turned off. Secondly, if you're online, because we have a virtual live stream going on as well, if you are using that somewhere out in the universe, and it'd be great if you, in the chat function, let us know that you are with us, even whether you're dialing in or whether you're calling in or whatever from, whether it's Arizona or California or Ohio or Honduras or Holland or wherever you might be calling in from. Let us know. Use the chat function and say, hi, I'm so-and-so from somewhere. So it's great to have you with us this afternoon. One of the aspects of the United Church of Santa Fe, two things I'd like to share. One is that we have been a singing church from the very beginning, from 1980 when the church was founded, before anybody in this room was ever here, including myself. And that singing and congregational music has been an important part of this congregation all the way through. And so it's wonderful to welcome colleagues here on the church staff, including Jacqueline Helene, who is our music director and pianist, Bradley Ellingbo, who is the director of choirs, our choral scholars, Gabrielle Dietrich, Rebecca Brunette, and Curtis Storm. One of them, Steve Kirchhoff, is not able to be with us today, but also a whole singing congregation. And so if you're looking for a place that has wonderful music and loves music, look no further than the United Church of Santa Fe on a Sunday morning. So we're glad you're here today. A second part is that it is indeed a pleasure to have a concert that is solely devoted to the African American sacred tradition, and to welcome Dr. Rosephanie Powell as our guest conductor and composer. The United Church of Christ's roots are in the congregational tradition, and they were the ones who in the early 1800s founded the abolition movement. And then during the Civil War and after the Civil War, people from congregational churches and traditions went to the South to found not only churches but also schools, everything from Howard University to Talladega College, Tougaloo College, Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee, and also the founding of the Fisk Jubilee Singers, which were one of the very first African-American sacred singing groups that toured all over not only the United States but also Europe. So you're in a new congregation and in a somewhat new building, but a tradition of singing and the power of singing and the power of racial justice that goes back for centuries. So it's wonderful to be able to host this event this day. Finally, we are doing a free will offering today in conjunction with Cora Luke's, which Brad is going to talk about in just a moment. That the free will offering, you may have seen the plates as you came in, that all the proceeds will go to the New Mexico chapter of NAMI, which is the National Association on Mental Illness. Part of United's mission and part of Cora Luke's mission is to provide ways of supporting the wider community, and this is one of the ways for this particular time. So without further ado on that, Brad?
Thank you. I'm Bradley Ellingbo. I'm Director of Choirs here at the United Church of Santa Fe, and also the Artistic Director of Cora Luke's, which is an Albuquerque-based auditioned chorus. Now, what you see in front of you is a festival chorus. The festival is co-sponsored by the church and Cora Luke's, but we have some church choir singers, some Cora Luke singers, some people from northern New Mexico have decided to join us. So this is neither of those choirs, but we're proud to be able to offer this to the community and to bring Dr. Rosephanie Powell here to be with us. Now, I don't want to talk too long. I would lift up, as Talitha said, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Cora Luke's, although it's a secular performing ensemble, does have an unofficial motto of doing good as we do well. And so once or twice a year, our concerts will benefit some outside organization that we choose. And this year, through the pandemic of lasting 2 years or more, we thought mental illness, there was a real need to support the professionals that can help people that have had a hard time dealing with all this. So if you're watching at home, you can also click on the button that will be somewhere on that screen. I'm not watching at home, so I think I trust it'll be there somewhere. There are many people to introduce, many people to thank. Most of them are listed in your program, but I would lift up particularly a couple, three names. First of all, my friend and colleague, Talitha. When it comes to Choral Lukes, we're equal. When it comes to church, she's my boss.
Yeah, right.
And Dr. Marianne Ibarra, who is the accompanist for Choral Lukes. There she is in the back. And no matter how much we did for 8 hours yesterday, she played all of it. If you're a bass, you might have had 4 measures of rest. She never got any rest. We have soloists, we have a small band, but this is not exactly the debut, but perhaps the second performance of the El Faro Youth Chorus. Yeah, yay. And some of the adults said, after hearing them sing, I hope they go last, because I don't want to follow them. But they have also prepared a piece by Rosephanie Powell and got to work with her yesterday. We formed this course, by we I mean Choral Lukes, last fall because we needed a youth chorus for this Dave Brubeck piece that we were performing, and many of the school choruses were not in session because of COVID. Well, our wonderful Dr. Gabrielle Dietrich, this is a passion for her, and she's very good at it. And so after our December performances, we said, we have to keep this going. And so that is another offering to the community of Choral Lukes. So I hope you'll enjoy that as well. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Rosephanie Powell, who's here from Auburn University. She is a graduate of the Florida State University, Westminster Choir College, has been at Auburn for 20 years. I have known her reputation for at least that long, but we met for the first time at midnight when her long delayed flight got in on Friday to Albuquerque. And now I feel like we've known each other for as long as I've known your reputation. She has been wonderful, and everybody says, I don't think this year can be topped, so just get Rosephanie back again next year. So here's Rosephanie Powell.
Today's concert is a mixture of both the pieces written by Dr. Powell, interspersed with readings from leading African-American writers, Langston Hughes, Howard Thurman, and also Toni Morrison. And the very first anthem piece that the choir will perform, the chorus will perform, is one called To Sit and Dream, which is based on some of the writings of Langston Hughes, one of the leading poet, or one of the leading poets of the Harlem Renaissance of the early 20th century. And so we'd like to share with you 2 poems on dreams by Langston Hughes. The Dream Keeper. Bring me all of your dreams, you dreamers. Bring me all of your heart melodies, that I may wrap them in a blue cloud cloth, away from the too rough fingers of the world.
And another poem called To You, and this is the one that Rosephanie has set to music in the piece you're about to hear. To sit and dream, to sit and read, to sit and learn about the world outside our world of here and now, our problem world. To dream of vast horizons of the soul, through dreams made whole, unfettered, free. Help me. All you who are dreamers too, help me to make our world anew. I reach out my dream to you. One thing I perhaps should have added in the opening remarks is this festival choir came together yesterday morning, and that's when they got their music. So they've all learned this in the last 24 hours. That's a testament to what a wonderful teacher Dr. Powell is. I'm now going to read from the introduction to Deep River, Reflections on the Religious Insights of Certain of the Negro Spirituals by Howard Thurman. The antebellum Negro preacher was the greatest single factor in determining the spiritual destiny of the slave community. He it was who gave to the masses of his fellows a point of view that became for them a veritable door of hope. For he was blessed with one important insight. He was convinced that every human being was a child of God. This belief included the slave as well as the master. When he spoke to his group on an occasional Sabbath, he knew what they had lived through during the weeks, how their total environment had conspired to din into their minds and spirits the corroding notion that as human beings they were of no significance. Thus, his one message springing full grown from the mind of God, repeated in many ways a wide range of variations. You are created in God's image. You are not slaves. You are not what they call you. You are God's children. Many weary, spiritually and physically exhausted slaves found new strength and power gushing up into all the reaches of their personalities. They had discovered that which religion insists is the ultimate truth about human life and destiny. It is the supreme validation of the human spirit. The one who knows this is able to transcend the vicissitudes of life, however terrifying, and look out on the world with quiet eyes. It is out of this sense of being a child of God that the genius of the religious folk songs, the spirituals, were born. Moreover, there is great strength in the assurance that they may come to a people that they are children of destiny. Here we are not dealing with a conceptual approach to religion, but an intensely practical one based on the tragedy of great need. For enslaved people, God was the deliverer. The conception is that inasmuch as God is no respecter of persons, what he did for one race, he would surely do for another. Daring to believe that God cared for them despite the cruel vicissitudes of life meant the giving of wings to life that nothing could destroy.
One of the best known spirituals, and also the theme of this FebFest weekend, is the spiritual titled, There is a Balm in Gilead. Before Brad offers it as a solo, this reflection from Howard Thurman. There is a balm in Gilead to make the spirit whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul. The peculiar genius of the Negro slave is revealed here in much of its structural splendor. The setting is the book of Jeremiah, the prophet. The prophet has come to a Dead Sea place in his life. Not only is he discouraged over the external events in the life of Israel, but he is also spiritually depressed and tortured. As a wounded animal, he cried out, "Is there no balm in Gilead? Is no physician there?" It is not a question of fact that he is raising. It is not a question directed to any particular person for an answer. It is not directed or addressed either to God or to Israel, but rather it is a question raised by Jeremiah's entire life. He is searching his own soul. He is stripped to the literal substance of himself and has turned back on himself for an answer. And Jeremiah is saying, actually, there must be a balm in Gilead. It cannot be that there is no balm in Gilead. The relentless winnowing of his own bitter experience has laid bare his soul to the end that he is brought face to face with the very ground and core of his own faith. The slave caught the mood of this spiritual dilemma and with it did an amazing thing. The slave caught the mood of this spiritual dilemma and with it did an amazing thing. He straightened the question mark in Jeremiah's sentence into an exclamation point. There is a balm in Gilead. And in so doing, he sounded a note of creative triumph. There is a balm in Gilead.
There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul. Sometimes I feel discouraged and think my work's in vain, but then the Holy Spirit revives my soul again. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There
Jerusalem just like John. I want to be ready. I want to be ready. I want to be ready to walk in Jerusalem just like John. I want to be ready. I want to be ready. I want to be ready to walk in Jerusalem just like John. John said that Jerusalem was foursquare. Walk in Jerusalem just like John. I hope, good Lord, to meet you there. Walk in Jerusalem just like John. If you get to heaven before I die. Walk in Jerusalem just like John. Tell all my friends I'm coming too. Walk in Jerusalem just like John. I want to be ready. I want to be ready. I want to be ready to walk in Jerusalem just like John. Oh, John, now didn't you say? Walk in Jerusalem just like John. That you'd be there on that great day. Walk in Jerusalem just like John. Oh, some came crippled and some came lame. Walk in Jerusalem just like John. And some came walking in Jesus' name. Walk in Jerusalem just like John. I want to be ready. I want to be ready. I want to be ready to walk in Jerusalem just like John. I want to be ready. I want to be ready. To walk in Jerusalem. To walk in Jerusalem. Just like
In Toni Morrison's novel, Beloved, she tells the story of a group of people who had been freed finally from slavery, but also reflected back on those horrible, horrible times. And one of the central characters is a woman by the name of Baby Suggs Holy, who has gathered the people, whether in slavery or in other times, and given them hope. She's an old woman at the time of this account. She also walks with a limp and a cane, and she leads people out to a place called the Clearing, a time in which, away from the masters and the world around them, they could find out truly who they were. Morrison writes these words. When warm weather came, Baby Suggs Holy, followed by every black man, woman, and child who could make it through, took her great heart to the clearing, a wide open place cut deep in the woods, nobody knew for what, at the end of the path known only to deer and whoever cleared the land in the first place. In the heat of every Saturday afternoon, she sat in the clearing while the people waited among the trees. After situating herself on a huge flat-sided rock, Baby Suggs bowed her head and prayed silently. The company watched her from the trees. They knew she was ready when she put her stick down. Then she shouted, "Let the children come," and they ran from the trees toward her. "Let your mothers hear you laugh," she told them, and the woods rang. The adults looked on and could not help smiling. "Then let the grown men come," she shouted. They stepped out one by one from among the ringing trees. "Let your wives and your children see you dance," she told them, and ground life shuddered under their feet. Finally, she called the women to her. "Cry," she told them, "for the living and for the dead, just cry." And without covering their eyes, the women let loose. It started that way, laughing children, dancing men, crying women, and then it got mixed up. Women stopped crying and danced. Men sat down and cried. Children danced, women laughed, children cried, until exhausted and riven, all and each lay about the clearing, damp and gasping for breath. In the silence that followed, Baby Suggs wholly offered up to them her great big heart. She did not tell them to clean up their lives or go and sin no more. She did not tell them that they were the blessed of the earth, its inheriting meek or its glory bound pure. She told them that the only grace they could have was the grace they could imagine, and that if they could not see it, they could not have it. Here, she said, in this here place, we flesh. Flesh that weeps, laughs, flesh that dances on bare feet in grass. Love it. Love it hard. Yonder they do not love your flesh, she said. They despise it. They don't love your eyes. They'd just as soon pick them out. No more do they love the skin on your back. Yonder they flay it. And oh, my people, they do not love your hands. Those they only use, tie, bind, chop off, and leave empty. Love your hands. Love them. Raise them up and kiss them. Touch others with them. Pat them together. Stroke them on your face, because they don't love that either. You've got to love it. You. And no, they ain't in love with your mouth. You got to love it. Yonder out there, they will see it broken and break it again. What you say out of it, they will not heed. What you scream from it, they do not hear. No, they don't love your mouth. You got to love it. This is flesh I'm talking about here. Flesh that needs to be loved. Feet that need to rest and to dance. Backs that need support. Shoulders that need arms, strong arm. And all your inside parts that they'd just as soon slop to the hogs, you got to love them. The dark, dark liver, love it. And the beat and beating heart, love that too. More than eyes or feet. More than lungs that have yet to draw free air. More than your life-holding womb. Hear me now, love your heart. For this is the prize. Saying no more, she stood up then and danced with her twisted hip the rest of what her heart had to say, while the others opened their mouths and gave her the music. Long notes held until the four-part harmony was perfect enough for their deeply loved flesh.
The words to this song is in line with what is stated by Morrison, and it is about finding strength and love for ourselves in the midst of a world that can hate us regardless of what our color is, regardless of what our gender is. Though I have been wounded, aching heart full of pain, Just like a budding rose, my bloom is nourished by rain. Haven't time to wonder why, though fearful, I strive. My prayer and faith uphold me till my courage arise. Still I rise as an eagle, soaring above every fear. With each step that I take, with every leg of this journey that I make, as long as I'm here, as Maya Angelou says, I rise, still I rise.
Though I have been wounded, aching heart full of pain, still
Rise. Rise. Rise, rise. Rise, rise. Oh, I've been trying to teach them about the African American culture. And they're getting it. Because in our church, it's not about perfection. It's about the word coming forth. Rise! Rise! Oh, well, they got it now. They got it. Rise! I was telling them about how when I go out to the black churches, they say, well, you know, why do white people get out of church so fast? and I said, well, I've been with them. And they just sing the verses, one after the other. And then when I come to white churches, they say, well, you know, I went to a funeral at a black church, and we were there for about 3 hours. Why did they stay there so long? And I said, it's because, now, by that time, if you're singing Amazing Grace, the white church is done. And the black church, that's just verse 1. Okay? So you do that for a while, you're going to be there for a while. Rise! Rise! Rise, rise! Rise, rise! I think they're getting it. Give me one. They're close. Give it to me again. Just give me one. I just want one. Give it to me. You keep playing. You keep playing. Come on, Lord. You all give me one. Give me one. That's all I need. Come on. That's it. Again. Give me 2. Give it 2. And that's what we do in our church. You just take, give me 3. Oh, they got it now. 1. Come on, sopranos. By prayer and altos. By prayer. By prayer and faith still I rise. Oh. By prayer and faith still I rise. Oh. By prayer and faith still I rise. Oh. By prayer and faith still I rise. Y'all keep going. Now, come on, youth choir. Come on, youth choir, join us. Come on up here. Because that's what we do in the black church. Anybody that can sing ought to sing. And that means if some of you can sing, you need to sing. Now, those of you who have soprano voices, this is your part. Sing soprano. Sing it for me. Yeah. This is your part. Altos, y'all not going to make me look bad, are you? Here we go. I like it. Come on, kid. Okay. Now, I'm getting ready to ask the basses and the tenors, and they rarely pay attention. Basses and tenors, are you all ready to come in? Yeah. Now, y'all not going to make me look bad, are you? No, do this. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Still I rise. Come on, y'all. Still I rise. Still I rise. I like it. Still I rise. Y'all come in, keep going. Still I rise. Still and tenors to stop singing. Why did y'all stop singing? I didn't tell y'all to stop. Baritones and tenors. You were supposed to still be singing. Come on, guys. Still I rise. Still I rise. Y'all ready? Ladies. Still I rise.
Thank you.
Very nice. I can't move my hands, but otherwise, yeah. No, I said I can't move my hands, but otherwise it's fine. No, I can't feel my hands. You're like, you're scared, and I was like, no, but okay. Thank you.
I can live with that one for a couple of years.